rights. Okay, here we go. Editing B here real quick. Just want to offer a disclaimer here as I'm editing through this video. This video is not intended to be fear-mongering, scaring people, etc. This video is merely in response to people asking this burning question and me trying to give people an answer. That means people are anxious about something and I'm trying to give them an answer so that they can feel less anxious by having the heads up that they were asking for. And so, you know, this video covers some things that are difficult to look at, difficult to hear, difficult to talk about, but it also covers things that help maybe bring some silver linings, some relief, things like that. So we're covering the good, bad, ugly, and indifferent here today, just so you know. But I wanted you to know the intent behind the video, wanted to have that quick little disclaimer. If you don't think you're up for it, just don't watch it. You know, whatever. Some people like to know things. Some people like to put their heads in the sand. Everybody's allowed to choose what the hell they want to choose. And so just putting out that quick little disclaimer here. So there you go. Now keep going. Keep watching. There you go. All right. Bye. Hey y'all. How you perking? I hope you're perking good. So this has been a question asked over and 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 over again. So today we're going to take a look at it. We're going to take a look at World War III and the likelihood of it, and is it going to come to pass, and if so, is that soon, and who all's involved, who all starts it, why, like any kind of things that we can know about that. We're taking a look in that today to get you some answers because I've been asked a lot. So we're digging into that. Penelope and I here are digging into that today. Penelope wearing her little yellows, trying to be all fancy. There you go. Now you can see her eyeballs a little bit better. So, I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive. And in these videos, we take a look at the tea with the tarot. So, we're fixing to dive right on into that. Let me go ahead and pull up the cards right here and move this microphone right here. Alrighty. So, getting shuffled up here to prepare to look into everything that we can know, everything we're allowed to know about this. Just a girl looking into her cards right here. So, of course, as usual, this is all alleged, just my interpretation, okay? All alleged, just my interpretation, okay? Great. Alrighty, so also, just wanting to throw out there, join button below for anybody that wants to join the Perk Squad and be a member of the Perk Squad. Get some Penelope eyeballs of your own, some emojis, some exclusive video content, some weekly forecasts, all kinds of things, and video shout outs like this one. Shout out to you, Michelle Thomas. Thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. Happy to have you here. So shout out to you, Michelle Thomas. Thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. Alrighty. Let's jump on into this and just see where we're allowed to go, where they're going to take us. Sorry for the, well, I guess I'm not sorry. My hair is all limp and whatever today because I combed it out with my hands and I haven't, like, showered and let it curl up all tight and coily today. But there's nothing really to be sorry for. Like, whatever. It's hair. I was fixing to apologize, do the YouTuber thing, apologize for my hair. I know it looks a mess, but I ain't sorry. It's a Saturday as I'm filming this. Oh, this, just in case the time becomes pertinent, 4:49 p.m. on Saturday, September 24th. So, in case that's important, that's the time of filming this. I don't know what time it gets posted, but that's the time of filming this, just in case that ends up mattering some kind of a way. So, anywho, what can we know, just starting out, spirit guides, about the idea of World War III and anything associated with that? So, just gonna find out. And for people who wonder, just in case you happen to be new here, I always say what I see, so I'm not one of those people that holds back or lies or whatever. I always say what I see, but also sometimes people are like, I wish you would just say what you're seeing, because obviously you're seeing something more and you're not wanting to tell us. That's something you're projecting onto me. If that's what you're thinking's going on, bless your heart, that's not happening. I can't squeeze anything out of the cards that they don't give me. So if they're not telling me information about something, it means I'm not meant to know that information about something. If they don't tell me, then I don't get to know it. But outside of that, if it's here, I'm gonna say it. So there we go. There's that. I have a couple of other videos coming up that might be touchy. I know this one's kind of a touchy subject. I've got some video ideas, and thank y'all for coming up with those. I've got some video ideas coming up about conspiracies, whether they're left-leaning, right-leaning, not affiliated with any political leaning at all. There's some things coming up that I want to do on that. We're going to try to do some videos on that and see if YouTube lets us keep it up. And if not, I'll put them on the Perk Squad demonetized so that at least they're out there in a way that can be seen, but not monetized so that YouTube doesn't really know about it. So we'll find out how to work those, but I'm going to try to get those done with code words or something that makes it be allowed to be posted. But what we're looking at here, for starters, I already know I want a context card up on this Emperor card, because that's pretty intense to see that card as we're starting out here. So, yeah, we're just going to dive right on in. We're just going to dive right on in. So, with people asking the question like, yes or no, will there be like a WWIII, I don't know how many times I'm allowed to say that in this video before it gets mad at me. Will there be one at all? A great world war of sorts, some big one that involves a lot of countries around the world. Like, will that happen again? There are people that are wondering that. And from what I'm looking at here, it does seem like, yes, that is most likely to happen again. So I'm going to dive into some of the details that I'm seeing around that. But again, just in case you are new here, I do feel like I need to explain that with the tarot, at least how I read tarot and how I pull tarot, what I'm looking at here, anything that I see in the cards is the potential that is most likely to happen based on how everything is lining up, based on how everybody's actions and decisions and thoughts and feelings and efforts and everything is lining up. This is the most likely thing to happen. There are, however, endless potentials at any given time. I can sit here and stop this recording. I can get up and walk into the kitchen and make a damn bowl of cereal and chomp, chomp, chomp away at that. I can do all kinds of things. I can call up a friend and, bitch him out. I can do whatever the hell right now, but what's most likely to happen is that I'm going to finish this reading. That has the most potential behind it energetically, is that I'm just going to keep reading these cards and finish this reading for everybody. But those other potentials exist. I could do those, and I could change my mind at any given time to do those. But since this is the most likely thing to happen, that's what I would see in the cards if somebody was going to do a read on me. So the most likely thing to happen, if everything continues the way that it's going, is that there will be another great war, another world war, that will most likely happen in the future, yes. But for all the people that have big anxiety about that, I just want folks to know that potentials can shift based on humanity making different decisions and changing directions, and the trajectory shifts based on that. So, putting that out there. Don't lose hope. There's a potential that could shift, but right now it's most likely slated to happen. Now, about that, big key indicator here is when I saw this Emperor card in reverse. Now, the Emperor card, as y'all know, this is a big, powerful person, usually a male. Doesn't always have to be, but usually a male, big, powerful person. With him over here in the reverse position, reverse is a real shit-willy position to be in, because that means that this guy is domineering, he's controlling, he's ambitious, he wants what he wants, he doesn't like to take no for an answer, and so he seems to be at the nexus of this ordeal. You see him here in a center row. He seems to be at the nexus of this ordeal. When I pulled a context card on top of him, I get the fucking Justice card. Justice card. I mean, hello. Can we read into that any more clearly than what it states? The Justice card is when people are thinking of things as being, this is what's fair, or this is what's just, or this is what's mine, this is what I deserve, this is what it's supposed to be, yada, yada, yada. Justice is also about legal things. Is this legal? Is this not? Are you doing something that people consider a crime or not? Justice card goes also covering moral ground. Is this morally okay, or do people see this as morally a big problem? It's also a Libra card, and so as you can see here, balancing out the scales of justice. And so it's kind of like at any given time, we're trying to keep a balance, but boom, if the scales shift out of balance and have a way to stay there, then you got problems. So it looks like there's something here that has to do with that balance and what this person perceives as just and fair, that would kind of come into play here, that there's something here that could even do with legal and moral issues as well. And this person looks like they're kind of front and center in where this stuff goes. So that's the first thing that I'm seeing. Also in here, the High Priestess card is here, which is in this type of lineup, kind of suggesting that there's some secrecy involved in this. And so when I'm saying secrecy, it's like when people have hidden agendas, or how do you say this? Like when people are being covertly aggressive and you just feel something simmering right underneath the surface, and you don't know when the volcano is going to go, but you just have a sense that it will. There's some kind of a vibe like that here. There's people that don't understand what's going on whenever this goes to transpire, and we'll try to look into timing as well. But with tarot, again, since timelines and potentials can change, getting an exact time is going to be a little bit, but we can look. But anywho, before we get into that, let's continue with what we've got here. So with that Queen of Swords in reverse, like I was saying, there's going to be people around this time that are kind of confused. They have the wool pulled over their eyes. They don't really know exactly what's going on. And then, you know, things just get kind of sucked into it. It's like a, yeah, it's like a black hole where everybody just gets sucked into something. It doesn't look like, you know, everyone was super ready for this to happen or whatever. It's just, you know, things fell into place and everybody got sucked into the wormhole. Looks like we've got some immaturity abounding. Like immaturity can come in the form of narcissism and things like that. Egocentrism abounding. 10 of Cups in reverse. So this is people not being able to play well in the sandbox together. Somebody pissing in somebody else's cornflakes. This is just, you know, again, a my way or the highway type of vibe. This is also an indication of potential, like, families getting split up as well. I'm not exactly sure how that, what do they, okay, well, let's draw some extra cards on it then. Let's see. Okay, in terms of families getting split up, what the hell? Does, you know, like, what does that mean? Where is that going? Why are we, okay, because of something long time coming. This is kind of like a quote unquote fortress type feel. So a place that feels like it's how do I say this? So a place involved where people are blocked out from the quote unquote regular world. The like a fortressy feel. It's like we're a part of this area or whatever, and y'all aren't. We're separate from y'all, separated some kind of a way. Behind this, what does that mean? Okay, hold on, we're gonna figure this out, y'all, about where they're going with that. What do you mean, like separated? The Lover's card too. Okay, hold on. I'm a verbal processor, and so that doesn't help when I'm reading these things. Okay. The Lover's card 2. Fortress, trapped in. This is giving me like North and South Korea vibes. Because forgive me, I don't know a lot of political stuff. I don't know a lot of like global stuff necessarily. But North Korea, kind of a, sorry for slapping you, Penelope. Sorry. I'm just wild right now. I feel like I'm gonna sweat. North Korea kind of fortressed off, like those people are separate from like the rest of the world. They're, aren't they like not really allowed to participate in the rest of the world in the way that we know of it? That, you know what I mean? Like they have are we allowed to say like dictator or whatever? Are we allowed to say that? Where they can't participate in the world or whatever. And so they would be fortressed away. And then there's these, that's the North and South right there, that it's like, wow. And then families separating. Is there going to be something weird that happens with North and South Korea? Like whether they try to come together or whether they try to take down one of them, or whether there's something about the interaction with the two that has something to do with these other things. This is interesting. This is very interesting. I was not expecting this to come up or this direction. As we can tell, I'm taken off guard here. I cannot speak anymore. Okay. Let's just pull some more on all of this and see where this is going, because I have questions and I'm sweating now. So whatever else we're allowed to know, spirit guides, there's something about the Koreas, something about that has something to do with a potential, so far likely impending next global war. But where does that go? Like what do we need to know about this? What are we allowed to know about this? Because again, I'll let you, just my interpretation, okay? All right, lovely to see you here, Devil card. All right, so here we go. The Fool card, upright. This is kind of that fuck it type of moment. This is somebody that's like, I'm ready to take that leap, carpe diem. If I'm going, go hard or go home, like I'm going kind of thing. This is a wrestling energy. The Moon card, again, that idea of secrets, that brewing underneath the surface, that hidden agenda, something that does like this before it pops off. So again, that vibe of a dormant volcano that, becomes active, like that type of feel in terms of vibrational tensions in the world. Like they're coming up with that again, as they were doing that earlier with the High Priestess card. Now they're doing it with the Moon card. And being in that upright position, that means that stuff is closed down. If it was in the reverse position, that would be the blow of it. But this means everything right now is shoved down. And so it's simmering, it's brewing, it's a pressure cooker. It's a pressure cooker. And so that's kind of the development of this, is some kind of a pressure cooker type of situation. So, and there's some type of way that Korea seems to be, the Koreas seem to be involved in this process of how this stuff kind of is catalyzed. Very interesting indeed. Very interesting indeed. Oh, let's get a little bit of context on these cards down here, because I also want to know more about this dude here. Okay. Yeah. Doop. Okay, so it's so interesting. Now look at us getting all these wands and stuff as well. So, okay, with this, we're seeing here, these are like two other countries here, and they have some similarities in that they're both coming up with some sort of a like feminine energy somehow representing the country. So in some kind of a way, the countries are symbolized by this feminine energy. With them, though, one country is obviously stronger than the other. So we've got this one here that is in a more strong position, whereas this one here looks like they are kind of worn down. They're not as strong as they used to be, but they're still standing some kind of a way. So a strong country that has some sort of a divine feminine type of pull to it, and a weaker country that also has that same kind of a pull. So this is going to be two countries that have similarities to them in some kind of core fundamental level, some sort of core baseline between them that is a commonality, that you could say, well, they're a lot like them because of XYZ. But then more surface level, more what you see at face value, not quite so deep, it's like one of them is a stronger country than the other. Clearly stronger than the other. One's more kind of hobbling along after a while of kind of getting beat down, and one's a little bit more on top, and boom, with that we get the Devil card upright. So again here, negativity, bad dynamics, toxicity, something that's unhealthy. You see these two people again. Remember, we got that visual of the two people on the Lovers card earlier. Now you see as if that's the Lovers again, but now you see this kind of chained look here with the Devil card. So I see something going on here that feels like, oh, this is just so weird. This is a weird like relationship between countries thing, that there's a toxicity there, a negativity there. These countries here, I don't even necessarily think they're talking about the Koreas. I think they were already talking about those in the first run of cards that we pulled, but in this second one, I think they're bringing up two different countries, because remember, if this is going to be considered the next world war, then we're going to need more than just, you know, the Koreas potentially to be kind of sucked into this, involved in this in some kind of a way. And so I'm seeing that there's these two others. These are separate from those two countries. So we've already got two others coming into play here. And there's some kind of a toxic vibe between these two. Something that feels unsettling, or a weird dynamic or something between these two. And that's where this Three of Wands comes in, where it's like, I'm watching and I'm waiting for it. I'm watching and waiting for it to pop off. This Three of Wands also is symbolizing these ships coming in, which when we're talking about ships coming in, that gives me the vibe of like trade, or you know what I mean? Like, oh man, this is so hard for me because I don't know a lot about, you know, foreign policy or like the global economy, or which countries rely on who for what. Like, I don't know all of that. So if you know those details and what I'm saying in the best ways that I know how makes sense and rings bells for you for that technical commerce type knowledge that please fill in some of your ideas, thoughts, theories, etc. in the comments, because I think that could be helpful to everybody that's kind of trying to synthesize all this information together, because we're getting a lot of information, and it's kind of hard to get those puzzle pieces to connect completely. But I see that these two countries, again, on a deep level and some kind of a core, have some things that are very similar between the two, but at face value, one of the countries looks a lot stronger than the other country, and that there's some weird negative tension between them, and yet they're still tied together, like wherever I go, you go. If I fall, you fall. If I tank, you tank, kind of a thing. And so it's a weird relationship right there, and something to do with trade or commerce or something. Like, we rely on each other for, we give you this, you give us that, and we need that between each other, that kind of a thing. So potentials here, like if I'm trying to think of countries that are coming to my head as potentials that could be involved in this, like I'm seeing potentials for US, potentials for China. I do get like potentials for Russia, and so there's like certain things popping around in my head. Maybe we're looking at something in Europe too. It's possible. I don't exactly know, who we're talking about here. It didn't give like those cards so far like it did with the Koreas, where it was like, boom, right there. It's in your face. Like, hello, you almost can't miss that. They're not giving us something that feels that definitive here. And it's possible that it doesn't get that definitive here because these two countries could shift in who plays the role. It's possible that who plays which role could shift over time in terms of the country that fills this role or the country that fills this role. But all we need is somebody to play this role and somebody to play this role, and boom, we're off to the races. So, this is very interesting. I didn't intend for this reading to be as long as it seems like it's gonna be. But and I'm sweating. I should have put on a fan. But anywho, okay, so we've got a lot of different details here, a lot of different things that we're going through. Let's look into timing stuff, because again, people are asking about timing stuff. The people who were asking me to do this reading anyway are scared because they heard that in Russia, Putin's saying something like, I will defend something by any means necessary, wink, wink, I'm not bluffing, or whatever. And people are really scared about him pushing a certain button, so to speak, if you know what I mean. And so they're worried about that. So if we're looking into here and timing looks like really soon, then, that's something, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Versus if timing looks like no, farther off, then that's something else. So I want to look at timing here. And again, taking in mind with tarot, timing is a very, nebulous kind of slippery thing to pin down, because potentials that shift, it's hard to get something like super, super pinned down to an exact time, but we can ask the question and know as we ask it that we're looking at an answer with some give or take. So, just trying to be realistic here about what we can and can't get to in this, in terms of how I read cards. So let's see, timing, potential timing of whatever we're allowed to know, spirit guides, in terms of when this stuff might pop off for the next, thing. All right, y'all are very slippery. I just opened a new deck, and so, I saged them, I cleaned them off, I did my cleansing, clearing prayers and all of that stuff, so that's not a problem, but they're very slippery still, as I just talked about slippery slopes and stuff like that. Okay, so with timing, I'm not super worried about, like, immediate future type of vibe. I don't really get that kind of a concern right now, mostly because the Ace of Swords is in reverse. This is a card that y'all see me say all the time, like, charge, you know, because that's what it's doing, charge. And so if I saw it in the upright position, I'd be like, fuck, that's charge, that's let's go. Like, you know, that's what you see when the knights in the battlefield that are front line start going at their opponents. But it wasn't like that. It came up in the reverse position, which is a positive sign for things being put off farther and farther and farther. So for anxiety folks, you know, exhale, let's do it together. Exhale. The Tower card is in reverse. Also a positive sign here. I know we don't like seeing the Tower card. I know the Tower card is like drama, energy, action, intensity. You know, I get that. But again, if the Tower is in the upright position, that's more about the external world, meaning that the Tower falling in the external world, things happening in a tangible way externally already. But in the reverse position, that's not necessarily the case. In the reverse position, it's usually internal, an internal Tower moment. What things, you know, think about things being a mind fuck, things being freaking out in your mind, you having to tear systems down and rebuild them and be like, what I thought I knew, I don't actually know, and how is this, you know. So this is all about the collective's process in terms of the things that we are thinking, feeling, experiencing right now internally, and how that contributes to kind of this build. It's like if we're all thinking and feeling these certain thoughts and feelings and kind of bubbling up those tensions. We've already talked several times now about that sensation of things bubbling under the surface before it blows. It seems like there's more bubbling to happen. I know plenty of y'all out there are like, the fuck do you mean the pot is already boiling? The pot's been boiling. Apparently not. Apparently this has been a simmer. Apparently everything we've experienced thus far has been a simmer. We're not at boiling point. We're at a simmer. Over here, Three of Pentacles, this is still, you know, some collaboration here. We do have this shitty guy over here, most likely a male, in the reverse position, being sneaky, plotting, planning, etc., icing people out, things like that. So I do see bad things going on, you know, that are part of contributing to the build of this, part of, contributing to the trajectory that we're on, helping to build the path towards the direction of creating this event that we're looking into. So I do still see that they're saying, yeah, since that looks like the most likely potential, it does look like the things are falling into place still to make that be the most likely potential. But I'm not seeing that happening like it's not far enough along in the process for that to pop off now, at least by what they're showing me. At least by what they're showing me, it doesn't seem like that's something that looks like it would pop off now. Let's see. Okay. Five of Wands in reverse, Eight of Pentacles in reverse. In my mind, I was thinking like, okay, do we have any kind of idea? You know, again, if we're thinking timing and stuff like that. Now, Five of Wands in reverse is a, you know, warring type of card. It's a fighting type of card. Eight of Pentacles talking about something that feels like it's not working, it's not going, it's not moving, or whatever. So if I had to put things on any sort of a timeline, and again, this has to be taken with a grain of salt, it just has to be, I'd say the farthest off that I can tell that this would happen, the farthest away that I can tell that it would happen is 2058. If I had to put a farthest off. So from now to 2058, we're in 2022 right now. So that means we've got several decades of wiggle room to play with, of these things kind of mounting up and building to what looks like it would eventually happen. So if this kind of building starts to ramp up and accelerate, things, you know, this catalyzed moment might happen closer to, where we're looking now. But if this kind of stuff is able to stay at a simmer and not reach boiling too fast, then it looks like this could get pushed off as far as, damn near close to 2060. So from what I'm looking at, it looks like we've got, decades here of wiggle room to, one, hopefully try to manifest avoiding this potential. If this is going to be a really shitty, ugly potential, then avoiding it, if that's possible, then that would be, nice, right? Or maybe putting things into place to where it's, if it does eventually happen the way that this is kind of projecting it to, that maybe it wouldn't be quite as bad as what it would be projecting to from now. I don't know. A lot can change in that timeline because a lot of people's decisions can change. A lot of people can change their minds and start presenting and showing up in totally different ways than they were showing up before. And so there's any number of things that can happen between now and then, but just for the sake of trying to slap some specificity on it, knowing that we're taking that with a grain of salt, and knowing that a lot depends on this timeline development and how slow or how fast we go from our simmer to a boil. I'm Southern, y'all. A boil. Then that looks like our farthest out type of timeline. I'm looking at some of the people over here watching this like, good, I might not be around anymore by then. Fine, let somebody else deal with that. Y'all gonna leave us with that? Hell, I'll be old as shit by then, I'll be in my, 60s or something? I don't know. So I might tap out too, who knows? But anywho, there's no thoughts of self-harm, yada, yada, yada. So don't take that in a bad way. I'm just running off of the mouth because that's what I tend to do. But yeah, so this is a lot here already to unpack. And I've already been talking for like 35 freaking minutes, and I feel like there's probably a way that we could ask an overall and tie an end to this. So I'm going to do a Perk Squad extended video where I'm going to kind of pull all of this to a close, ask, any remaining things that we should know or allowed to know, can know, whatever about this, just to tie it all together. And I'll ask that over there for a Perk Squad extended. I got most of it done over here. We've talked about a lot of things over here, but just to see if we can get any other details, I'll look over there. So again, the join button, blue button down below if you're interested, or the link in the description box. Also, if you'd like a private reading from me, then my website, BeasTalksAndTarot I was about to say BeasTalksAndTarot@gmail.com. Well, that's my email, but BeasTalksAndTarot.com. You'll see it on the screen. You can book a private reading at BeasTalksAndTarot.com if you'd like a private reading. If you feel like you need an energy tune-up to clear chakras, to get yourself in shape, figure out where things might be going wrong, where's the energy going, what do you need to work on, etc. Then I have Reiki Energy Healings. I also have tarot tutoring if you want to be able to read the cards in the way that I read them. And also got life coaching for people who are like, I'm stuck, I'm not satisfied, fix it. Then, okay, we'll take a look at that too. So all of that's there on my website, BeasTalksAndTarot.com. But Perk Squad, I'm coming at you. We're going to tie some loose ends together, just see if we can, pull it all together for a close, get any last little, details that we can get out of it. Again, I'll let you just my interpretation, and we'll check on that. And for everybody else, let me know what you've thought of all the things that have come up here, all the details. What is this looking like? What does it seem like, is trending? Things that you may know because you know more about what's happening globally around the world than I do. Please do tell, give some insights, because I'm sure a lot of us would like to be able to put those puzzle pieces together. And again, this is the potential that I'm seeing as most likely right now, and fingers crossed on us being able to change anything in any more positive direction for the good. That's always what the hope is. And because this was such a heavy read, I'm gonna again put a b-roll here at the end. So for anybody that's new here, the b-roll, it's just me and my crazy ass little puppies and stuff like that, like quick little video clips or whatever of the puppies and stuff to make people smile, lift their spirits, make them laugh, whatever. It's just a nice positive uplifting way to end the video to kind of help people breathe and debrief what all we just talked at. So B-roll coming up for the percolators here and Perk Squad. I am gonna finish out the tail end over there for y'all. So don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye, y'all. Daddy. Daddy. Was that Bodie?
Yeah, that was Bodie.
He goes,
yeah.
Little dude. A little dude. Look at you. Oh, that guy.
Convergen muchas estrellas, muchos jugadores, muchas alegrías, pero